minute. We're live now.
Okay.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is another exciting episode on the Pan-African Daily TV. Like I promised you yesterday, we are live. We are live and ready to go into the conversation. Let me first of all welcome all of you that are joining the stream today and ask you to do what we know doing best. What do we do best? When you join the stream, you click the link and share and invite one another. That's the spirit of Pan-Africanism. That's the spirit of African people and Black people worldwide. When we get at home, we don't feel comfortable except the whole family is here with us. Now, I promised you yesterday that we're going to get another conversation that is going to be very exciting, innovative in this case. I want to say it's going to be innovative because we've been talking about so many other things, but this topic that is coming up today, hey, get ready for it. So what I'm advising you already, I can already see you joining in just in a second. We're already hitting 40. And as you can see, Sir Clyde, Dr. Rivers is here. I call, Sir is some kind of like, he has all the titles and has won all the awards that you can imagine, honorary ambassador, all sort of awards that you can imagine that an individual can just get. I mean, I can't even say, but when I refer to him as Sir, it has some kind of nobility and humility and most of all civility in this three words. And I am so happy that we are having Dr. Rivers here live with us. And I must apologize, we couldn't get Professor Bennett just have today because of other constraints, but it's good to go. It's good to go. All of them is one trousers, just with two different pockets. So even all the conversations and the questions that you would have been asking Dr. Bernard, hey, Sir Clyde is going to brush them like nothing. I'm sure he's the boss now. He's the boss of the iChain Nation. So he knows everything. He knows everything, people. So I want to thank you for joining this conversation. It's going to be hot today. And get ready to hear even some of the things that are going to be very uncomfortable because exactly that's the way Africa should develop. We've been lied to, we've been caressed, we've been hypnotized. I can say we've been like kids that have just been given breast milk all the time. But right now we have to eat real food. We have to eat real food. But just like the Bible say, quit drinking milk.
Yeah,
Africa,
come on.
quit drinking milk. We're not going to drink milk anymore. Now we have passed the stage of creeping. We're going to eat real food. And you know what? Real food is only for people that have the nuts and the guts and the teeth to chew.
Yes.
Even up to 100 years, you see Black people and African people, they have all their teeth intact because they chew the bones. We don't eat like just like even the chickens, we bite the bones because they have the guts to do it. That's exactly what we're talking about here today, ladies and gentlemen. And our topic, like we said yesterday, is going to be racism and the role of civility. The role of civility in our changing times. Let me welcome Dr. Sir Clyde Rivers. Hello, sir. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Susan, thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. We're going to have a world-changing conversation today.
Yes, I'm already bragging, as you can see. I'm just bragging because it takes not just only anybody to host Dr. Clyde. It takes not just any kind of audience. If you know his scheduled, I mean, the kind of demand, particularly in this time of COVID and pandemic and racism and all that is just shutting the world and putting the world into crazy. He is the most solicited man because he knows how to chill. He knows how to calm. He knows how to heal the pain. He knows how to fix things when things go wrong. Every day, people just calling him left and right. For him to be here is a very wonderful honor for Africa. I can say it for Africa because it's the time that we need reparations. We need to repair our broken continent,
Mhm.
our broken lives as people worldwide since 400 years. We need to reconnect and we need the man in the house, our brother, our father, our mentor, our leader who has been awarding always other leaders for their work. It's time for us African people to give him the award as well. I don't know what kind of award you'll be making out there for him because I don't really know. He has all the awards. Yes, he has been just collecting all the awards and that. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move direct into the conversations. As I say, please click the link and share and invite one another. You know how we do it. And we are going to have a break in 1 hour time, and we open up the lines after his presentation and after this conversation on the topic for your questions. So get ready, be patient, and please make sure you're very, very observant, ready for your questions. Yeah, but before I give him the floor, I just want to salute all of you watching with me from all over the continent, from the Caribbean, from Haiti, from United Emirates. Yes, I see you already saying, Susan, we are ready for him. Musa, you said, I have been waiting. Zazu, you said, welcome, Dr. Clyde. It's my pleasure to have you here, of course. And our brothers in the Caribbean and Dominican Republic are also saying, hey, all of us are here and we're waiting for you. So, Sir Clyde, it is over to you. What is it
Yeah,
that you want to tell African people and Black people when you take a look back and just take your knee out of my neck? The recent pandemic and the COVID that is just changing the whole face of the continent. African people are so down, they are broken, they annoyed, they're aggressive. They refuse to be comforted in this time. Black people are just like on their feet. They don't even want to hear anything that want to make them feel civil, want to make them feel human because they feel other systems have not recognized them as humans enough. But you're here to say, I fix it. Go ahead, sir.
yeah. What I believe is this. I believe 7.8 billion people in the world and are made in the image of God. And hear this. When you're made in the image of God, you have a custom assignment to do.
Mhm.
Now, my opinion is many of the education systems of the world do not account for our gifting. Let me give you what it is. If you receive an institutionalized education that talks you out of your creativity, you
Mhm.
just had a bad education.
Correct.
This is what I tell people, Susan. I said, look, I said, don't give me a PhD because I actually researched your stuff. Give me a PhD because I created something. And
Correct.
you see, here it is, because I created. Why is it that people that create big institutions are not doctors, and
Mhm.
people that actually research what they did become doctors? I'm saying there is something wrong with that picture. If I create the corporation and you research me, you get a doctor and I get nothing, but I created it. So we have to change the entire paradigm of thinking because
Mhm.
here it is, people. Governments don't lead the way. Governments govern. Ideas, innovation lead the way. If you ever want to change things, get a better idea, get a better movement. This is why, let me tell you, in the midst of the pandemic, my business doubled in a pandemic. I'm like, you want to know why? Because I know most people will be complaining.
Mhm.
I went to the think tank. I said, no, no. And here it is. And I saw, Susan, I saw everything that data right now is irrelevant. Data.
Mhm.
Why? Because we've never seen a pandemic and no one's ever built data around a pandemic. So when you have a pandemic, all the old research is out the window because we have seen an actual precedence of what we've never seen before. So now, how do you put the world back together after a pandemic? It's called innovation, ideas. People are trying new ideas. How do you put the world back together after a pandemic? You need innovation. You need ideas because the old data that was built on a system that existed, well, now we're in the midst of a whole new system, and the
Mhm.
world is changing. And hear this: the ones that complain will always be the ones that complain. The ones that innovate will lead the way. I encourage every African on the continent of Africa, get an idea. And watch this here. Susan, I'm fired up right now, Susan. This is
Yes.
what I'm telling you. You hear this. People think it takes money to get everything started. No, it takes ideas. Every business that's ever created was created by a thought. A thought. It wasn't the money. The idea brought the business into existence. So I tell people the richest place in the world is an idea from God. And when you activate the ideas from God, now faith kicks in. And when faith kicks in, faith will supersede any system in the world because God created it. And I tell people in this season, we are in the middle of some of the great transformations, even in America now. When Mr. Floyd was murdered, guess what? Guess what is happening now? God is putting His finger on injustice.
Mhm.
People have rose up all over the world and said enough is enough. And the African Americans in America, we are not taking no for an answer now. No, 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 no. This here will not be swept under the carpet, under the rug, because of institutional racism that exists in almost every system in the world. So here it is. You don't overcome that by emotion. I tell people, look, everyone is marching. I'm going, great. That's
Mhm.
good. But how do you change it? How do you change institutional systems that have educated you out of your culture into another culture's thinking? See,
Mhm.
let me tell you this here. The most powerful weapon of the West is not our military, it's our scholarship. Our scholarship gets the best people from around the world, and we erase their brain from their culture, and we put our culture in them and send them back into their countries, and they work for us.
Hmm.
Are you getting me? So,
I
so
hear.
the most, so the wealthiest place in the world is the one that controls the mind. If I make you think you're something and you aren't that, huh, Susan, I'm number one. Wherever I go, I'm made in the image of God, and I'm number one. I never accept a back seat anywhere because God didn't create me for the back seat. He
Mhm.
created me in His image, and nobody in this world is better than me, and I am no better than anybody else in this world. God made 7.8 billion people, and they're equal in the eyes of God. And anyone that tries to talk you out of that is wrong. Africa, you're made in the image of God. You're number one. You have to lift your vision higher. And you have to understand government's not going to change anything for you. It'll be your innovation, your ideas. Let me tell you what I love about America is our young people push the envelope with ideas.
Mhm.
Susan, you have any questions?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I mean, I just go ahead.
Yeah. So what happens is this: in America, our youth are innovative. They get ideas and they push the envelope. So now, so really, young people with ideas are leading the way. I'm like Africa. You have M-Pesa. You have great minds that have built great things. So quit thinking the institution can do it for you. They can't. They need your innovation. Your ideas are what the world's asking for. And hear this: if you're alive in this earth, God has created you for ideas. And hear this: ideas ideas must supersede your skin color. It supersedes race because it came from God. Now, watch this, people. I'm going somewhere, Susan. I'm ready to drive the car now.
I know, I know,
So,
I know, I know. But let me just come back to this before you
yeah,
you kick it off, because now you are saying this and people that woke up. I'm also woke up. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I just wish this was the way it is. Now, young people on the continent are just going to dash on you when we open the bus to say it is good, sounds perfect, but the government,
yeah,
the leaders.
yeah, yeah. See. But let me ask them something. Okay, think think about how think about how things change. Like let me give you an example. In Kenya, the gentleman that created uh, M M M-Pesa,
M-Pesa. Yes,
that innovation changed the way their country runs.
correct.
Okay, so did the government create that, or did an individual? So
Individual,
if the individual idea changed the way the government runs, now who leads the way?
the individual.
And yes. So this is what I'm getting at. Governments follow innovation. They have to set policy around new ideas. See, this is what Africa and the world needs to understand, that government governs, it doesn't create. We, the people, create, and government governs. Susan, I see. So what I'm telling our young people is get the innovation. Get the innovation, because innovation is the way to lead out of this. Oh yeah,
Correct.
government does this, government. I go, great. Government, I know, follows ideas. Go ahead, Susan.
Yes. I mean, you are when you're speaking here, I have the impression that the audience is just thinking, oh, he's a Black American, he's an African American, but little of them know your experiences in Africa, and that you're a son of the soil and you know Africa more than some of the Africans on the continent. Do you want to say something about that? I mean, we know that you're advising statements, and
Yeah.
you're doing consultancy and training for diplomacy worldwide. And what was your experience? Did you ever had some kind of difficulties when you're working on the continent?
What it is this. I've brought several white colleagues in with me, and when the people see the white colleagues, they run to the white colleagues, and
Correct.
I go, I'm the boss. uh, I'm the boss. I'm the boss of these people. The people are working for me. I'm the leader. But see, it's a colonial mindset passed on to several Africans that think that I can't be the leader.
Hmm.
I can't be the the leader, but I am. I'm the boss. So what am I saying here? I'm saying, yeah, I see, and here it is. I know there are challenges in Africa. I've been to the villages, I've been to the state houses, I've been on the great tarmacs, I've ate with kings, and I've ate with people on the ground. Let me
Hmm.
tell you, the issue of Africa is this: change doesn't happen overnight. Real life change has to be an institution change. And what happens is this: if I so I have a realistic view. If you ever let colonial medias tell your story, they will never tell the truth about your story,
Hmm.
because they can't, because they need to portray you how they want to portray you in order to keep the benefit coming to them.
Correct.
But Susan, this is the great thing about this pandemic. And as tragic as it is, I'm sorry for every life that's been lost. That's a tragedy. But when the world opens back up, no no country from Europe, no no country from the West is coming to help because everyone's economy is devastated.
Mhm.
This is the time that Africa will need African innovation, will need the minds of the Africans. And even in the pandemic, people have started building institutions where masks are now produced in Africa.
Mhm.
Different things are produced there. So people have to look at the world different. My
Mhm.
actual wealthy friends look for times of crisis, and they buy everything for cheap. They go, Dr. Rivers, here's a crisis. Great. So here's this. Rich people save their money for tragedies. When a tragedy happens, everything goes low, and they buy.
Mhm.
Different mentality. Go ahead, Susan.
Yes. Um, we are on the this topic of racism and the role of civility. What is actually civility?
It is kindness and respect. I just started a movement called I Have a Solution. And I base this on the word of God. See, James 2:8 said it's the royal law. The royal law is if you love your neighbor as yourself, you live under under liberty. But if you mistreat your neighbor, you live under transgression. So and here it is. So I tell people, it's right now in America, the African American is tired and done with with racism. We're done. We're done. And I believe God is done because what happened to George Floyd woke up the world, but it was God saying you have sowed injustice and now you're going to reap the consequence back. So
Mhm.
every institution, Susan, that's ever mistreated anyone will have a day where they face the consequence of what they did for others.
Correct.
And that's a biblical law, not a government law. So Africa, what about tribalism? Hello, let us talk about that for a minute. Let us talk about same skin color. You're the working tribe, you're the poor tribe. That's the same thing. It's the same it's the same system that divides. I go to El Salvador and they're all brown people and they have this is the wealthy brown people and this is the poor brown people.
Mhm.
So what happens, racism to me is really a spirit of division,
Mhm.
and that spirit's everywhere dividing. So we have to look at this thing. If we're going to do it right, we can't look at it from one perspective. Let's look at it from every narrative. We have to treat people with respect and kindness. That's civility. If we treat people with respect and kindness, the world becomes a better place because everyone can bring their contribution to the table.
Correct. I see it. I see it in this same light, because otherwise, it's going to be always in our narrative as white people hate black people. I mean, we're not saying all. We're just talking about the
Yeah.
rule of order. But you're saying it's a systematic or institutionalized systems that have been put in place to divide people, just
Yes.
the same as the tribalism that we're facing or the different types of divisions that we're having on the continent. These are institutions that have been
Yes.
reportedly put there to divide people so that whatever they can rule or they can control them. And so civility is like, let's just first of all forget about the black and white and look at ourselves as Africans to build us.
And what it is when you don't build the institution, the one that builds the institution knows what the institution has. So we have to become the owners of institutions. We have to become the actual leaders. And hear this. and not accept. See, this is a challenge. I tell Africa, watch what donor money you accept. The donor money you accept has
Mhm.
agendas behind it. So, so,
Correct.
so be okay with the money and not the policy that comes with it. So,
Mhm.
so I tell people, if you want to build Africa, build Africa. Build it from scratch. Say, no, we don't want your money because your money has strings tied to it. And this is where governments have to change in Africa. They got to say, hey, this isn't free money. This money's coming with agendas behind it. It's true. Let me give you an example. Could you imagine if the AIDS business, could you imagine if there was an actual vaccine for HIV/AIDS years ago? Do you know how
Mhm.
much money AIDS produced in business? Do you know some institutions of the world, if they solve the problem, they lose a job? So
Correct.
people, this is why I tell people, look, don't expect me if I need you to if I need poverty to keep my job, I'm not going to help you. I'm going to help you stay poor so I have a job.
That's the way it is. It couldn't be said different. That's why I started by saying we need to be ready for this kind of a paradigm of thinking, because a lot of people, we're seeing it from a different perspective, from a shallow perspective of things. And to know that when we understand these agendas, it is better, because they just sit, they keep it there. Africa has to remain poor so that they can make business out of it. Diseases have to plague the continent so that they can come out with pharmaceutical and on all these conventional alternatives to it. We have to remain so poor, our infrastructures have to remain the way they are, so that they keep playing with our governments like in a ping pong game, where now the people suffer. One thing that I appreciate, and I want you to write it on really, Doctor, is this aspect of innovation. The African people, 70% are young people that are able to innovate. Do you think it's always a wrong idea? And I think that's what has put us in this models, that we're relying on the government instead of us outperforming the government to rely on us.
See, yes, yes. And you know what? Let me be just really candid. Sometimes the government institutions have to learn about innovation, because what they don't understand is, just imagine if we had 700 million African youth innovators. You see, people that think narrow will they want to hold people down. Could you imagine the innovative minds of the African youth if they had the ability to produce their ideas? Man, this continent would shoot through the roof. But what happens is, as you have poor leadership, they are afraid of innovation. They're like, no, 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 no. What? And they don't want people to have computers because it hides their corruption. So the more you can see, the more you understand. So what happens when you create uh, an institution where technology and innovation's there, you're gonna drive the narrative. Look at this here. Let me give you an example. Steve Jobs with Apple. He changed the computer industry.
Correct.
Michael Jordan, a basketball player, changed uh, sports shoes. These are people. These are people with ideas. So ideas change the world.
Correct. And now African people are like, yes, we have the ideas, and the ideas don't materialize by themselves. Something that is very current now is the technology that people need, or access to, like skills and trainings and stuff like that. And now we are beginning to say, yes, enough of racism out there. If our brothers in the diaspora could connect back to the continent and just take back these ideas, these innovations, and encourage young people, produce our own wealth, support community development, because the young people on the continent, they're ready, they're just waiting. And now, I don't know what format should we start with. Some are saying, yes, we are ready, but the government is always going to be a bottleneck.
Right. And you know what? I have never seen a corrupt government live forever. Eventually, something happens. Eventually. But
Hmm.
this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this. When you're mentored in corruption, I've seen this happen. When you're mentored in corruption, when you take over, you do the same thing to others.
Correct.
So, see, there has to be an institution information change because the ones that end up saying they won't do it are the same ones when they get in power, they do what they were taught. So this is why there has to be a new system of thinking. Like, let me tell you, I was in Ethiopia years ago, and I was sitting in like diplomatic lounge, and I was watching a news network. Watch this, and they had some Africans in a classroom, and they said, how many of you want to be an entrepreneur, and how many want to work for the government? Raise your hand. They had 90% of the people raise their hand for a government job. You do that thing in America, it's going to be entrepreneurship. Why?
Hmm.
Because we know entrepreneurship allows us to make money. And I'm saying that not as a criticism. I'm saying people think the government will do everything. Well,
Hmm.
government governs, but innovation in every country, ideas lead the way. In
Hmm.
every country, it's innovation. It's people like the one guy with M-Pesa. He had an idea. Okay, he didn't have the money, but he walked the idea into life. So one of the big things that I think people miss is they think they need money first. No, you need the idea first. When you get the idea, God will begin to bring to you what you need for the idea. So people think money, God thinks ideas.
Okay. Um, this is interesting. This is interesting because uh, in some part, when Africans have been made to think that when you say God is going to bring the way, I mean, they see something, same mindset that you're saying. They see another kind of a thing. The God that is being preached in the way and the format has been a dormant God in terms of Africa. And
Ah,
so when we bring and try to allocate it, I'm not saying it's wrong. We started it even before them. The chosen people in the Bible is us. But I think the narrative, exactly what you're saying, the narrative has made people, when you tell them like God would do it, it's like, okay, they've been waiting, they've been dreaming,
I
the
get it.
churches
I
are
get it.
telling them the same thing.
That's a
And
great
but
question.
when you put it in a fact, like, all right, we're going to get support, they see physical action that is going to follow.
See, right. That's a good question. Let me ask you something. How many people donate to America? See, watch this here. Let me give you a perspective. Nobody brings us money. No, nobody brings us money. It's our innovation. It's our innovation that built our country. It's innovation. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, if innovation and ideas work for us, why would Africa think that it needs to have money to do everything?
Correct.
This is what narrative is.
Hmm.
We move on innovation. Let me give you an example. When I say God will do it, I mean like example. When I started, I changed nations. I had a
Hmm.
thought one day. I took the thought, I wrote it down, and I moved on the thought. And the next day, a gentleman came and said, "Let me pay for that to help you get that started." And then I got it started, and I kept moving. Because hear this, see, when you say God will do it, you still have to work. You still have to walk towards it. It's not
Correct.
going to come as magic. People think I'm going to wait. Oh God, no, 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 no. You have to walk towards it, and God will connect you. And hear this. And in a 6-year period, I'm in 120 nations of the world now.
Yeah, and Dr. Clyde, that's the point. That's the point. That's the point where you need to hit on. You know, it's a narrative. When you tell people out there that they know that God is gonna send an investor, it's gonna send an angel, but you had put the idea of I change first. You had.
Yes,
Now,
yes, yes.
before we elaborate, what is I change? What have you been doing with I change? Because I am looking on how we can set that network. I don't know in Europe because I've been following this thing. It's like rocket science. What is I change?
I Change Nations is when I went to Africa, I saw great people that no one ever recognized. I'm saying, this guy, if he were in the West, he would be highlighted. He would be all over the news because he did good things. And then this is also what I did, Susan. I began to look at the African presidents. I
Mhm.
said, many of these guys have done some good and some not good. Okay, but that's like any president in any country. There's good and
Correct.
bad. So why does nobody recognize the good out of an African leader, but they recognize the good out of a Western leader?
Correct.
So I said, hey, I said, yeah, there are different challenges, and I don't endorse every leader's life. But if he built 100 schools, thank you for building the schools, because the schools will live after you're gone. So I began to look for the good that they've done, not all the bad, not but I look for the good, Be, because I was tired of never seeing African leaders acknowledged for good, and yet
That's true.
I'm actually watching other countries that are picking the good. So how come no one's picking good for Africa? How come
That's
no
true.
one has a culture of honor for Africa? So I come to Africa to say, hey, no, 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 no. The Africans are doing good stuff, and world, it's time for you to know that Africa has brilliant minds, great leaders, young people that are innovative and thriving. So my job is to show the world the good of Africa. Yeah, there's bad. There's bad in America. There's institutional racism in America. That's not good. So there's challenges all over. But how come no one's ever highlighted Africa, Susan?
I mean, and this is the key point. Dr. Clyde, this is the key point, even when we're talking in terms of these narratives. And now you see that the reason why I'm saying it's a key point, because this is one of the aspects that, sorry, has made even Africans to lose faith in Africa, because
Yeah,
it has always been everything good can never come out of an African leader. And we
right.
know, even the leaders in the West, I'm telling you, the things that, I don't know, the reforms that they carry out there is crazy in terms of their people. But the difference is the people recognize the ones that are working and the ones that don't work. So it's a win-win kind of a thing, or it's a double perspective. But when it comes to Africa, to be honest with you, we Africans, if you say leadership, people laughing because like there's never been any good. And you ask yourself, but come on, wait a minute. And that's the role of the civility that you keep talking about. Let us try to see the little good, and then we can excel to correct the wrongs. But right
You,
now, our
yeah.
mentality has been 150% negative.
What? See, I know that. And when we honor Kenneth Kaunda, see, I thank Kenneth Kaunda for being a freedom fighter. Thank you, Mr. Kaunda. Okay, maybe everything in your time it didn't change, but you fought. You were a liberator to help to help liberate Africa. So I
Yes.
thanked him for that. And then I just honored as a world as a world's man civility leader Joyce Banda, the first woman president of Malawi. We just honor her as a civility person of the year.
Yeah,
Why?
but
Because
2018, sorry, 2018, you honored Professor Pierre Olumumba.
yes, yeah, he's a great voice, and you know what? Let me tell you, no one is going to change the image of Africa but us.
Yes.
No one is going to stop racism, institutional racism in America but us. See, people have to quit looking for somebody outside to tell their story. No, we will change Africa. And if people allow me to highlight the good, not the perfect, the good. So
Mhm.
now people look at Kenneth Kaunda in America, they didn't know who he was. They go, who's this Dr. Rubin? Kenneth Kaunda. So now they know this man did good things. Was his
Yes.
whole term good? No, just like no leader in the world. Hear this. I never expect a president to be a perfect person. They're human beings. They're going to do policies that are good for some people and bad for others. That's politics. It's policy making. It's good for some, bad for others. That's why we have left and right governments in all countries. When this
Mhm.
one's in, you say, yeah, 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 yeah. This guy's in, boo. Okay. I I get it. That's the nature of politics. But when you get to God, I'm telling you, in America, I grew up special education. I was a slow learner. Okay. So, and people say, oh, he's an American, he's African American. They have to remember institutional racism has been here the whole time I've been growing up. So the opportunities for me were not the same as for other people. So here
Mhm.
it is. We have grown up with an institutional racism mindset in our country. So yeah, we are Black Americans, but we've grown up in segregation, racism, and this. So people may not want to hear, oh, he's American. No, 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 no. Bondage is bondage. We may have some different resources, which I get, and I've been to Africa, so I understand I understand that my country, America, we have years of democracy, 250 some to almost 300 years of democracy. So of course, 300 years versus 50-year-old. If you have a 50-year-old democracy, you have 50 years of information to set policies around. If you're
Mhm.
in one that's 300 years old, you have 250 more years. So we have more, so our institutions are more established because of more time. Does
That's
that make
correct.
sense, Susan?
It makes perfect sense. Perfect sense. Now, I want to come to this point because when we get one, that's what we say on the Pan African Daily TV, we never let them go. Now we get you, we're never going to let you go. When we discover one of us, of course, this is actually the power of God. As I can say, this is the power of God to bring us angels that have been otherwise not maybe existing and serving other systems than its own people. And it's the time that the angel of Africa is hovering over and just bringing all these wonders, these sons and daughters of Africans that have been somewhere to enlighten their people, to educate them, to inform them, to encourage them, to build them, to push them forward. Now, get this, what you are saying that is so relevant on this show is you don't even want us to dwell on the negative. You don't even give us the chance to see racism as a problem for us not to develop. You don't want to give Africans or us the possibility to think that, oh, because of bad governance and leadership, we cannot innovate. You don't want to take anything for an excuse why we should not grow. And exactly this is the spirit that we need in Africa now. This is the spirit that the African churches and pastors should be preaching in their congregations now. They need to build back the confidence of every African child and not give some kind of, teach them to be innovative. Remember, I said it when you just said we have to create. But then when we create, and then God would come in. An African understands it absolutely different. Now, but when you brought the example of I change, I wrote an exam, the concept, and somebody came and bought. And this is a fact. It's a fact of a reality. Now, it is God and the angel that sent him, but you had to write something. And this is the new paradigm that I'm saying. We have met you, Dr. Clyde. We're never going to let you go. What I'm saying is, I would want to have you in a packet of training. What you wait, let me read something what you've not been telling people about you. And we've been talking about every other thing that is being out there. Your roles and responsibilities. You are acting representative of United Nations, New York, for Interfaith Peace Building Initiative. And in the Department of Public Information. Good. You are acting ambassador and director of North American Division for Golden Rule International. You are a spokesman for World Civility Day, Community Civility and Count Initiative. Countless I say countless awards and peace prizes that you've been doing there. Apart from that, you are representing as honorary ambassador in so many functions. Hey, why am I saying this? You've been doing this to other people. We've been saving order. I Change Nation and see it is a world map of everybody on the planet. We on the Pan-African Daily TV are just soliciting that I give you a slot just twice. I know how busy you are, but I can't even say once in a month because that's going to be too less. I want to give you a slot twice a month, or if possible, three times a month. and I'm making this commitment because I want you to agree in front of the whole congregation of African people and Black people worldwide. And you have to take this commitment. You have served the world. You've served other nations. You people have built America. You've impacted them what they are today, even though they're putting their foot in our neck. It is time that all this knowledge have to come back to build our broken people, ourselves and Africa. Now, what is your take on that? Twice a month. That's the little I can go.
I will be there. I will come on twice a month. And let me tell you why. This is what let me give Africa a perspective of what I'm doing. No, many countries don't know. Many countries don't know Africa. So when I'm bringing good, stand behind me. I'm not saying it's perfect.
Yes.
I'm saying this is a leader that they didn't know. So they only have a negative narrative. So I'm one of the first ones putting a positive narrative out. I'm saying, hey, come.
Yes.
There's great minds. Come and bring business. Come and look at how to partner with Africa. Partner, not where they get 80% and Africa gets 20. No, where Africa gets 50% and they get 50. So come and partner. So I tell people, you can't shoot me down. I'm one of the only voices speaking good on your behalf.
Nobody's gonna shoot you down. Yeah. Nobody's gonna shoot you down. But but I want to make this very clear, Dr. Clyde, if you permit me to. You've just woken up sleeping dogs right now. Because people think African people, my people, are sleeping people. No. Yeah. Now you've just touched the bee and the hive is going to go up. So you're talking about innovation. I know young people that are watching. I see Josephat from the community of African volunteers watching. And these are young people on the continent that are moving. Yes. There are just millions out there with these innovations. Now, just like you wrote the concept of I change, Africans want to start seeing the physical gods that are going to buy this concept on the continent. Even we're not even saying that we're really that crazy about those in the diaspora. Of course, we need them, but even right there on the continent, what is required for our young people is trainings.
Yes.
And I know And I know you want, not you particularly, you're the boss. You don't have time for that. But you have a whole community
Oh my
of
goodness. We, I,
of
we can position the greatest innovators today to come in and help people learn. And this is what we're doing. Man, my network is huge.
I
And
know.
actually part of what it is, when I go to Africa, I see the hunger. I'm like, man, I see the hunger in the youth. And see, we can change Africa in one generation if we get the young people. If we get the young people are the key to the future of Africa. The young people are the key. And I will bring the best people on this show, the best, so they can talk and help.
Yes, they can talk and help and bring investment there. But when let me just say something else. You are so attached, Dr. Clyde. I feel jealous sometimes. Really, I feel jealous. I've been following you, and on your you're so attached to East Africa, and I can also see the relationship. I don't know how far that is, but what I want to say is you look like you're from Kenya originally. But what I want to say, what I want to say is you were not from your genealogy the kind of this big man, because you're really big. Let people not mind you sitting down there. You're huge. You're huge. And it is just a significance of saying that you saw hunger. And so most of our slim, tiny selves that you find on the continent, it's not just because we sportly. Of course it makes us healthy, and we can, like, people in the jungle and walk, but your size, your physique, it speaks success.
Hmm.
Honestly, it doesn't matter whether you have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
You it out the way you are, and I see you struggle sometimes to get a six pack and everything, so you can look as more handsome, particularly on your award ceremony. I see the red carpet. What I'm saying is, hey, Dr. Rivers, I see glamour around you.
Hmm.
I see, so when a mentor and a role model like you is speaking to young people, I begin to feel the fact that, of course, you want them to drive in this kind of royalty.
Mhm.
There is nothing bad for African child to think wealthy. There is nothing wrong for my brothers and sisters. I mean, to roll in a in a bed. I mean, in whatever. There is nothing wrong in an African child to dream to have a private jet. Nothing, because I have seen it. I don't know. I don't think you're even materialistic oriented, but I'm saying the royalty and the personality, the humility, the civil person that you are, and that speaks a lot of volume. This is
Mm.
the spirit of civility that I want you, please, to impact on my people and to change exactly this kind of mindset to think that money was just made for some other people, not the kind of money that is going to kill us. Wealth, luxury, comfort, as if it was just being made to some other people. And now even the Black Africans on the continent still see us Black Americans, so Blacks in the diaspora. How we come up with this kind of lifestyle is what we want the African child to dream and be innovative. How possible are you going to transform this?
Let me tell you. Oh yeah, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. Let me tell you what it is.
Mhm.
The whole key to life is being exposed to information.
Yes.
Exposure. It's exposure. When as people understand, the word of God says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. The
Yes.
first thing we have to deal with is the mentality. When I come to Africa, they go, look, we are poor. I said, no, 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 no. You're not poor. You're made in
Mhm.
the image of God. You have
Yes.
to find your assignment. You got to find your assignment. When you find your assignment, and I said, look, I'm walking on diamonds, gold, and silver. How can you be poor when there's gold minerals and resources under your feet that the whole world's coming for. So I said,
Correct.
Africa's not Africa's not poor. People have educated it out of its mind. Please, if I can say that. They've talked
Yeah.
people into a number two mindset. Well, I'm number one. God, you're number one. Every African young person is a number one in their God assignment. So if
Mm-hmm.
we can help them find their God assignment, not religious, their God work. I'm
Yes.
doing my God work. I'm not doing a religious duty. I'm doing my God work. And I
Mm-hmm.
believe every kid, everyone born, and Susan, faith delivers the same everywhere in the world. Faith, because everything in the world's built by faith. Faith delivers everywhere in the world the actual same truth. And truth delivers the same deliverable everywhere. Because if you walk by faith, you get stuff done. If you sit and talk by faith, you don't. I want to be this. I want to be this. No, put the vision in front of you. Put it in your mind, and start to let me tell people, young kids, this is how to be successful. Put the thought in your mind and walk towards it. Walk towards it. If you got to draw a picture of it, say if you want a Mercedes Benz, get a picture of it. Put it in front of your mind, and start to work every day with that goal in mind,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll walk to it. Because yeah, go ahead, Susan.
No, no, you were saying something very correct, and I wanted to just interrupt soon to make it more from that perspective of get a picture of it. Get a picture of it. Why? Because for it, get even a picture of faith. Get a
Mm,
picture of faith. We know that the Chinese people deal with a lot of pictures. Even if their handwriting, if you see their writing is more picture-like.
yeah, yeah,
They don't have
yes,
the alphabet that we have. So an African child is not been given, is okay, it's been replaced the picture of his faith. So the idea and what you're saying is very concrete to say, now this is the solution of what of the ideas. You have an idea, I want to write a Mercedes. You draw the Mercedes, and now you have a picture. You have a picture because it's a reality. It's a reality of what you have in your mind. I want to be a farmer. I want to own the largest agricultural center.
yes.
Put it in a picture. Why am I saying this? Because exactly that's the point you're saying. And I like this correction all the time. People don't get misunderstood because that word religion has actually brought a lot of a misconception in terms of work and in terms of entrepreneurship. But that's another subject matter. We're talking about some kind of keywords that Africans see it differently. Now, when Africans hear faith, and that faith for it in a religious context tells them is what you believe in you don't see. What you just believe that you don't see. So they don't get a picture of faith. They don't. They don't
Ah,
they don't see it.
ah, wow,
Of
wow.
course. Of course. So because they don't see that picture, faith is always an illusion. It's
Ah,
like a space. And then we begin to conjure that is because believing in something that you're seeing. I'm talking in this case in the religious context, but you are
yes,
talking in the action, in an entrepreneurship.
yes.
The faith is I have a vision, I have a business plan, I put it and I draw it, and now it has to materialize because I have a picture.
Ah,
And so I am very grateful, Dr. Rivers. Now you get the point, isn't it?
I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it crystal clear. Because when you can't see the word of God says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen.
Correct.
So there's an evidence that you have to hold in your mind. Is the picture. The evidence is the picture. And then you'll see it in life. That's how I've done everything. I get it. I just started a movement called I Have a Solution.
Yes.
Civility for all. Now watch this here. That idea started, I had a thought one day. I have a solution. And God said, what is it? If people live the golden rule and treat others how they want to be treated, that's the solution. Nobody wants to be robbed, so don't rob somebody else. Nobody wants to be stolen from, so don't steal from somebody else. Nobody wants to be killed, so don't kill anybody else. So if people learn to live the golden rule, that's the solution.
Yeah, I also saw that, and I was about to ask, what is the golden rule? Because I saw it in most of your exposés and this new movement. I was like, golden rule? Um, like, yeah.
What is it?
All right,
Okay.
but you're up to it. You're up to it. You just say it. And we see coming back to these practical solutions that African people, African young people want to just see something materialize after all these years of, just empty things. Okay, they trusted, like you said, the government just governs. They trusted in the government. They put their vote out there. We want to be civilized people. Yes, government and most youth are saying is not in our favor. Now, you have another proportion that trust and just say, okay, you know what? I'm done with politics. I'm giving it up to God. And now they join the churches. And like, I just want to get my faith. After all, everything is vanity. God controls my destiny. And in some words, like God has just meant that I should be poor.
See,
Now,
yeah, go ahead.
you're a man of God. You're a man of faith, very high faith. But you don't see it that way, because this is here the point where we're talking about what is it actually that people see differently when we talk about faith and God and actions and stuff like this, and civility and humanity. Probably now we are seeing a new dynamic, or this paradigm that you're saying, you're putting it in really the format that it should be, walking the faith, and you're seeing the actions and you're seeing the result. It is different from just believing and just hearing and just begin to feel that is my faith.
That's a good. Let me give you, Susan, you're going to love this. I started this movement Monday. I said, God, open doors so people can hear about the movement. Monday night, I talked to Tony Jaja about your show. Now, watch this. All your listeners just heard about I Have a Solution movement.
Yes.
This is God. This is God. I had the idea. I didn't know I'd meet you. I said, God, let everybody in the world hear this movement. And I'm sitting on your show, Pan African TV, talking about an idea I launched Monday and told God to bring it around the world. And hear this, and you just invited me on to your show twice a month. So twice a month, your audience will have a chance to hear what I'm doing and be empowered. So again, I had the idea, wrote it out on paper, spoke it out. I'm sitting with you.
Correct. Perfect example. And I think this is the practical part of what Africa needs now. The idea has been there, and the I don't know, just some some dreams and visions have been there that people have believed, but people now are moving to what does this actually interpret. And this is the point where I'm very happy that you're bringing these kind of examples, because I also saw that a solution, and I wasn't sure, and I, like, get him here on the show, let him tell us. This time in point, we're looking really for people like you, Dr. Rivers, that could spark up what people, Africans, think and how they can materialize their dream in a practical format. We're looking for solutions even to things that we know. How is it that we can transform this kind of a paradise that we have into a physical thing that People can now sit and say, I'm African, we're from the richest continent, and you see it. You see it. Which kind of African child dreams and see a future like, they would have to fly one day? Because those dreams, they've not seen it, their parents, they've not seen their parents did it, they didn't see their grandparents did it. So sometime, why would it be me? How could I make a change? But you are here and the right people in time. That's why I said, when I discovered you, when I followed a lot of things that you're doing, you're teaching, how you put this, you transform the ideas into a reality, into a physical. I said, we want to get you here. We need you, brother. We can pay you. Of course, you don't need
Oh
it.
my God.
But your gift to this young generation of viewers, and the thousands of it, the millions out there, 70% are watching you now, they're listening to you. They're going to be sharing this video throughout. And by the time we end this conversation, they're going to be more than 10,000 people that have listened and you've
Wow.
educated them. Yes, that's the way, that's the rule of the Pan African Daily TV. Always,
Wow.
it has been that. Nothing has changed. So we are grateful. I want to go to something very pragmatic. You gave something here about, and that's a program that I would like us to, when we set something and let the ball rolling and ask people to do it, young people, they do it. They need some kind of compensation. When the leaders are doing something right, exactly like you said, they need some kind of compensation. I have been looking from the Pan African Daily TV. I see in just this 3 months that we've been operating, a lot of engagement of young people, women in their sectors, a lot. And I've been looking, how can I get access to award, to create, to give credit, to these young minds? Because the more we award, the more we compensate them, the more they do even more. Now, we started, it's just 3 months, and we worldwide, a huge follower. How do we start? I mean, with your support, your organization, how can you advise me from the Pan African Daily TV to go ahead with this award? Who's going to
Let me
sponsor?
let me tell you what actually I'll do. Let's establish an I Change Nations Pan African Daily TV Award, and this award will be USA. No, Africa/USA, and
Are you
this
serious?
award, yes, and this award, and what I'll do, I'll do pins, lapel pins, and medallions for top innovators in Africa, people that have solutions. And what I'll do, I'll call my office next, and I'll have them. I'll create a logo, a banner on my I Change Nations, and we'll put Pan African TV in the middle, and we will create a culture of honor for Pan African TV and I Change Nations for the young people of Africa. And then every month we can honor people. You you begin to have I have you establish an actual innovation, what they've done. You can analyze it, and every month on the show we will name 10 people, and we'll get them their awards. So we build a culture of honor for Pan-African young people.
Wow, wow, wow. This is what I talk about action. People, all of you that are watching, you just heard him. And like I said, what we do on the Pan African streams is a recording. We're just doing the production
Yes.
live now.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it is going to stay in the archives. It means that people are going to watch this and they're going to be.
Yes.
So I think what we're going to do is set the rules, criteria for this
Yep. Yep.
application, where
Yep.
people can get it. And then we are going to start, of course, on your program twice a month. And innovation. I mean,
Solutions.
solutions,
Yes.
innovation solutions. And
Yes.
I think, do you want us, anyway, we're going to choose those criteria. I'm just getting so excited because I just said it. I never knew where it was going to come from. But of course, we have the dream. We have the Martin Luther King dream that has been transformed now into action. Like, We don't just want to talk, we want to do. I know a lot of young women, like I said, even in the Caribbean, that are jumping up, and then leaders too. We have freedom fighters. We have the people of West Papua that are standing up and they're fighting for their people. They need to be awarded. We have
Yes,
even the
yes.
Aborigines in the Australia. I'll be bringing one top lady from the Aborigines from Australia next week on the show, Dr. Cast. And Dr. Cast is just those kind of engaged people that
Wow.
you don't see them.
Wow.
We have a lot and million of them. I think it is time that the African child deserves that kind of honor.
From us, from Black people, from African Americans and Africans working together, honoring these so people can see their own, recognizing them. Wait,
Yes.
I'm honoring you. I'm Sir Clyde Rivers. We're honoring you. And on the bottom of the certificate, we'll have your name and my name. Well, yes, we will do this right. And then what will happen, we can mail their medallion and their pens and certificate to them. Well, my office will create all that. My office will create the document, all that.
Thank you so very much, Esther Clyde. I'm gonna open the lines for
Perfect.
interaction. I mean, like we can just hold this monologue. I call it like you and me, and but I feel so sorry, and I want to welcome a particular partner in the I Change movement that you know is a wonderful brother out there in Canada. You know him so well, Dr. Charles Tourette, and
Yes.
he's a partner and he's just watching us and he's been clapping, he's just been saying that's the right man. And we are also going to reach out with Dr. Because he's been doing a lot. I've just been putting a lot of things, and he's also going to have a slot on the Pan African Daily TV when he is doing his shows. We need to push it forward to the audience to follow those that cannot make it. And so it's a whole chain of network of great people doing a lot of things. And now is the due time to award our people. And let me tell you guys, the award is just not a certificate, it's not just a golden pen, but these awards are the kind of, when you bring a project, we analyze it and you get an award for it, it means that project is in the market.
Yes.
That's the main thing about awards and accreditation. Like that project is in the market. We're gonna put it on our market as a project that is been certified, qualified for sponsorship, and who wants to buy it. And just like he said, when the sponsors and the whole world, it's a world market, buys it, so they invest in your project. What am I saying is that it is more than just a pen, a golden pen, and a paper. An award means you have worked hard. You have brought a solution that could change the system. And please don't go only in terms of technique to say, I want to create something. Bring even ideas. How can we refurbish our government and we see ourselves again booming on the same leadership platform?
My God.
All sorts of innovations. We know you African people are not lacking in terms of ideas and innovations. Please do not spare any energy in anything that you think. How can we bring water to our people? Clean water. Water has been flowing all the time in the villages, in the city. How can you, an African child, make money out of it? It is very possible. Now put out that idea out there and you provide clean water. So you're not going to see some NGOs from Canada come to tell you they want to give you clean water when they're going to take the same water and just only bottle it and sell it back to you. African people, wake up, sit up on this. We want to support every innovation that is coming. It doesn't matter how small it is, but come up with these innovations and we're going to push it forward.
Yes. And Susan, one thing I want to add, and with every initiative, they have to have civility for all in it.
Yes.
How does this make my neighbor better?
Yes. That's the Ubuntu. You call it in the I Change Civility, we call it Ubuntu.
Okay.
And the modern Western systems call it win-win situation.
Yeah. Perfect.
Right. We have the first caller on the line. We're going to take this call. Hello?
So, Hi, Susan.
Hi.
Are you hearing me well?
Yes, we're hearing you well.
Hi, I'm calling from. I am Dauda Mbaye from Senegal, but I live in Morocco.
Okay.
I want to congratulate Mr. Rivers, Dr. Rivers.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
And then I want to contribute to that award for innovative young Africans.
Yes.
Because I'm leading a platform where every year we have hundreds of young innovators in the continent. So I can share all my data.
That is beautiful.
For all you're doing for this continent. Many.
Now you see, from Morocco, live and direct on the show, Dr. Rivers. Now you already have. And what is your organization doing? Hello?
Yes, I said that the platform we are leading is Hub Africa. And during Hub Africa is every year an annual great meeting, but to bring the creativity of young Africans, we have the African Pitch Roadshow. In 10 stages around Accra, Abidjan.
Oh, please just hold on with your call. Let the brother finish, please. Go ahead.
Okay, and then all these young.
Oh my God. Hey, Joshua, you're calling from Dubai. Please hold on with your call. I will pick up your call after the brother finishes. Okay. Go ahead.
What I want to say is that we are free to share all these data in order to promote innovation.
Correct.
Thanks a lot, Susan. Thanks a lot, Dr. Rivers.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is wonderful information. Now we're going to say we're getting to work. I told you, you've just touched the real people. They're not sleeping, as the world is saying that they're just sleeping. They're just waiting for the opportunity and the people to support them. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's just the first. And now, how do you feel about that? You just say
Susan, this
just came out of Nigeria and you're getting a call from Morocco.
And Susan, this here started Monday by faith. I'm on your show Thursday and Morocco. This is how faith works.
Exactly. This is faith. Exactly. This is what I wanted to say. That's the faith. Now you brought an idea and now you see the God appear. That's the faith. We're going to pick Tracy's call. Hello, Tracy.
Hi, good evening. Good evening, Dr. Clyde Rivers. Really, thank you for being on the show. Can you hear us?
Yes, we're hearing you. We're hearing you, Queen. We're hearing.
All right, yes. Thank you, sir. That is really touching what you've the offer you've given, and I just want to tell you how happy, how proud, and how blessed I feel hearing this from you. I work in the UK in the healthcare field, and I've always wanted to impact or give back to Africa.
Correct.
Because life is health. If we don't have good health, we can't be alive. And most of the times, we do have people in communities with some chronic diseases that they could live better. So how can we as African healthcare professionals in the diaspora come together with our mixed skills, sort of come up with an app, something that we can facilitate and enable and improve care in the communities in a manner that people can consult without even having to move. We work with local pharmacies because I think it could be a way of sort of creating sort of a database where people can have basic information about symptoms, taking some first aid, what are the things they need to do if someone has got some basic diseases that they can manage before reaching healthcare. work together with doctors down there.
Okay. Dr. Clyde?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. Did she ask what she needs to do?
Yes.
You know what? If I were her, what I would do, I would create an actual app, a phone app that would put specific content that could be reached anywhere if they had the app.
Mm-hmm.
And with the phone app, she can send out an actual health tip every day, a health tip, so that people around the world would get a health tip. And I would do it as a health tip. I wouldn't do it as medicine, just a health tip.
Okay. Tracy, did you get that?
Yeah, I got that.
All right. Mm-hmm. Did you understand that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. Fine. Anyway, in case of any question, he is here. He's in contact, and so if you want to refer back.
All right.
All right.
No worries. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your call. Yeah. Good. You see, these are the kind of practical solutions that people start looking for, particularly in villages where people have this health, and what are the kind of solutions that they could go on
Yes.
and get practical solutions.
Great.
Right. I just missed your call. Some other calls, please. You can call back. The line is open, and we are here one-on-one with Dr. Rivers, Clyde, and he is saying exactly what just happened now. That's the faith he is talking about, Africans.
Wow.
That is the God when he says, you ask and it shall be given. Don't just ask, and if it's not being given, something is wrong. So we were just talking about this award, and the brother is just like, I have the whole data. Probably maybe you don't even need to search, or he would provide what he has. So that is actually what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. It is time for you to get out to work, be innovative. We're taking this other call. Hello?
Hello, Dr. Susan, how are you? And Professor Rivers, how are you?
Fine.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for what you are sharing, Dr. Rivers. It's really inspiring and mind-changing. Before I give my contribution, let me just react to what our sister, the nurse from the UK, said, that how can we create an app? I'm happy that Dr. Rivers already responded to that. Now, this is the second time I'm hearing our good nurse raising this point. She knows exactly what she wants. We have a volunteer or a team of IT expert volunteers based here in Kenya. We can link them together, that all that she has in her mind will be put into a mobile application where everybody on earth can be able to access. Resources are there, minds are there, techniques are there, experts are there to make that happen.
Correct.
Now, back to my contribution with Dr. Rivers. I'm happy that he is pointing to the world the good that is in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Let me link this to what Louis Farrakhan once said in an interview by Mike Wallace when he was asked that he visited Nigeria, that Nigeria is one of the most corrupt nations on earth. Mm-hmm. In his response, in anger, he said, "You are not in any moral authority to say that that nation is corrupt. Let us, those who know those nations, go there and help them. America has done a whole hell of hurt to the world." So with that mentality, I salute you, sir. And I'm happy again that he is leading awards. And I would love to get one award from his team. For us to be awarded in Africa, we are looking for the West. We are looking for the white man to award and recognize us and award us. I'm happy that our award is coming from.
Yes.
I'm pointing in 1 minute.
Yes, from a monument. Yeah.
In Africa, if you want to get rich, you are told that you become a religious leader, that is a pastor, open a big church and sell to people hope. Or become a politician and steal from the public. But I'm happy that we are talking about innovation and bringing solution to the people. But allow me to, somehow I'm in agreement with everything that he is saying, but allow me to strongly just beat my drum a little bit. Our leaders have caused a whole hell of things, and following that, the words of Louis Farrakhan, them must tell us that our governments, our people are corrupt. It is us who have the moral authority to say that they are corrupt, because it is us who have the solution to those corruptions. So nobody else should talk about that. It is us to talk about that. We are looking to Dr. Rivers, with your knowledge, and happy that committed to becoming in this show every day. We are looking to grab your wisdom and cause the change from the grassroots levels here in Kenya and in every country in Africa. We are looking to your wisdom. We are looking to the wisdom of Professor Lumumba. We are looking on you as young people. The change is coming. The change is coming, and the change is here with us.
Wow.
Wait. Hold on. Did I hear you say we are looking to you, young people?
We young people are looking to Professor Rivers to share their wisdom, because sometimes as young people we might go with a lot of speed, but we need somebody to tell us, hey, don't, not that way, come this way, not that way, son, come this way. So we mean business. We mean business, and change is coming, and we are going to effect that change. No apologies about
that.
I want you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Exactly. This is what I said from the beginning. The Africans are so hungry. They just like a hungry lion and lioness. And anybody that comes in as a meat. I mean, I'm not saying in terms of they're just gonna devour you. They're just gonna devour you. They're so hungry for this kind of spirit, for this kind of spirituality that you are mentoring. Believe and the faith that works. How? Be innovative. Solution. When you come up with the innovation, hey, we're going to guide you on how to proceed. First, we will thank you by awarding you. And secondly, we're going to accompany you in that. That's just all the African young person needs. Not more. We would not be carrying guns in our jungles. We would be focused on building and creating. Now, how do you feel to that kind of reaction?
This is exciting because I've been waiting. I have excellent networks. I have, and you know what, to be able to inspire people, because this is the key. I tell people, you never know how far hope goes.
Yes.
When you give someone hope can drive you far. I love this. This is exciting. I'm going to do an international news story on Sir Clyde Rivers partners with Pan-African TV. I'll have my publicist do a story that I'll be on twice a month, and it'll get to probably 13. It'll probably get to 2,500 media outlets.
Wow.
Let's begin to have a new conversation about Africa.
Now, next question. Hello.
Yes, hello, good day. How y'all doing?
Fine, thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, Professor Rivers. I'm glad. Hello, Africa. My bad. Good day to all diaspora.
Good day.
I'm very happy for this conversation, because this is a time when we have to reason, but we're still moving forward with action.
Yes.
And as a brother in the Caribbean islands, we are connect to all the diaspora. It could be in America, it could be in South or North America, but we are one people.
Correct.
Yes.
But at this time, though, what we want to do is not to have too many people that has been elected. We need to start select our leaders to go further.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
at the end of the day, it won't be on no religious levels. It won't be on no political levels, but it'll be on us, our levels.
Yes.
For better, for our future. And there's a problem we have too with a lot of blacks still complaining. If there's a problem in America, why is America a problem? What they say, why is America a problem? Our problem. It doesn't matter, because we are one. We went there. We built there. We created there. So at the end of the day, if there's a problem there with any one of our black sisters or brothers, our voices has to echo too for them.
Correct.
Likewise, they do the same for us. So
Yes.
we're seeing the change. And I appreciate the brother is giving us the knowledge, is sharing the knowledge. But in the future, we want to have our own system.
Got it. I
And
agree.
I know a lot of black Americans who have certain powers, but if they really want to reach out to Africa more, we need to start having our own equipment, like for shipping, for flying, or for ports and certain things, so we're able to trade and do our business.
Yes.
If this world become a cashless world, we need to educate our African sisters of how we are going to work through their system.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate this, brother, and I hope you see you some more on the show, and we will meet one day on the continent. But for now, we just need to push. We need to push just on the agenda, so we're educated to make the right approach and the right decision. So we take our people from poverty, not poverty of riches and vanity, but poverty of understanding and knowledge. I do appreciate this, brother.
Man,
thank you, sir.
Brother, I appreciate you so much. That's what needs to happen. Thank you so much.
You had it.
Yes, brother. I do appreciate it, brother. And as I say, we are one. It doesn't matter. We speak the same English, yes. We have lost our language. We have lost our religion. We have lost everything. But the greatest thing that we don't lose is a spiritual connection. It doesn't matter if we could read and write. Once the connection is right, we will connect and we will go further. Everything may look like it's not happening, but believe me, and I believe in myself, and I know it's going to happen. We are going to be better. We are going to dominate by what we need to dominate. It's not about us just to shed blood, but for us to show we're competent and live onto what is our legacy. And that is what we're seeking now, to continue to push our legacy.
Thank you.
The black man and the black woman of this world.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I love it.
Hey. Dr. Rivers. Okay. 2 times. Well, let's see. Hello. Hello. Yes. Hello, sister. Can you turn off the other device that you have? You're listening to us and you're calling. That's why it's making the echo.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. If you turn the one that you're listening to, then we can hear. Good. Fine. Perfect.
Okay.
Welcome to the show, sister.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, wonderful. Hi, I just wanted to just chime in because I've been following you just for very recently. I first saw you when you interviewed Daya, I think last week or maybe 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And I got really inspired, and I pop in whenever I see the notification come up. But today I just really appreciate watching yourself and then Dr. Clyde Rivers. And it's amazing. I get inspired, and I just wanted to throw that out there. But your last caller, or one of your previous callers, brought up something that really kind of sat with me, and I saw something this morning about health care. One of your callers previously just talked about health is wealth.
Yes.
I am not a healthcare worker. I'm an artist. My dream is to, get to the motherland and develop there in an agricultural way, and also dealing with textiles
that's me. But I saw this thing today, and it brought me, when she came and said health is wealth, it made me think. And I don't have any tie to this organization, but I do know one of the women that started it, Beds for Africa. I saw some video and I saw that, you know, they're organizing. This is an African American sister that moved to Ghana, you know, married, moved, ended up there. She was trying to come home to have her third child, and then got stuck there because of issues with her pregnancy. And she noticed, you know, how it's lacking on the continent with regard to the healthcare system. So I just wanted to throw that out as a little side thing. Again, I have nothing to do with it. It's Beds for Africa, but I think that's more needed. I think a lot of us, and I'm here in New York, by the way.
Okay.
I think a lot of us coming over, you know, even talking about it to my family. You know, I'm really the only one in my family, you know, intention to come over. But my parents, they're like, oh, but the healthcare system there. And I'm like, well, that's not going to stop me from going, but it's clearly an issue that needs to be addressed. So when I see things like that, Beds for Africa, and I know her story, and I just saw she really took that. Her baby's now, I think, 3. And she's really working on other things as well, but to make sure that healthcare system gets tight. So on top of me, I just really want to just chime in and say how much I appreciate the work you guys are doing. But I wanted to throw that out there, that health is wealth. We need that.
Yes.
Another thing to come up, you know, on the continent. And yeah, but I mean, you guys really inspire me today, and I just wanted to come and chime in. I think it's awesome. I see you guys building right on the screen, and I love it. And I get inspired, and I come through and just try and check it out, and you know.
Wow. Sister, hold on. Sister, don't go. Because, I mean, you're just saying, wait, I want to get that very clear. Anyway, I'm going to connect with you on WhatsApp so that you give us the organization, and we can also connect the sister, Tracy from UK, who just called and mentioned that. And it's nice to get that kind of a network, because we just network in the system.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you.
Yeah, and one thing, Dr. Clyde, I'm talking to the sister. I mean, she said she does music and she wants to get into the textile, like the fabrics and stuff like that. Wow. Sister, I will connect you with you on that, because we have the festival virtual edition coming up, and it's about music and fabrics. So I will hook up with you on that.
Perfect. Love it. Yes. Thank you so much. I mean, you guys are amazing. And yeah, so just keep doing it. Love it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye. Same back to you. Wow. Dr. Rivers. I know after the show you're going to start, you have to do some kind of readjustment programs now. You're going to develop a new focus, and that's what we do with our guests, and particularly you, the kind of guests that when we have, like I said, each one that we discover, the connections after 400 years or 500 years, like even the sisters, all of you that we just discover, we catch you and never let you go. Never. Nothing is ever going to pluck us away again.
Amen.
That's the power of the Pan-African Daily TV. Once you come in, it's family, and we're good to go. Now we're taking this call from South Africa. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Yeah. Hello. Can you hear us? Your line is breaking. South Africa has a very, very.
Yeah.
Do you? Okay, go ahead. All right. Very sorry, your network it keeps breaking. You can try again. We still have a couple of minutes to go. All right, he's calling again. Dr. Rivers, please be patient. Hello? Yeah. Hello?
Yes, it's Dr. Owen again.
Yes. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, I can hear you properly.
Good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've just been very inspired here with Dr. D, and I want to say thank you so much about the work.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
can you hear me now?
yes, we hear
Yes,
you.
yes.
Perfect. One on one.
I
Everything
just
is
got
okay.
very inspired.
Yeah.
Wow. It's great.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's the
Great.
technology on the continent that we have it.
Yeah. So I just got very inspired again by a doctor there,
Mm-hmm.
and first of all, I want to thank God for you because you've really spoken my language in some ways.
Thank you, sir.
So I got two innovations that I've started here in South Africa, and the first one. Check this out. Okay, and first one is that I've got this um, restoration hub center that we've opened, which actually we're looking into, African young generation that are, that are standing from home going to the street. So we're trying to help them so that we can bring them back home to, and we integrate them into society. So we've been working hard toward this, and really, it's been some kind of like a hard work to do here, and it's been almost a year since I felt like quitting down because of not having some motivations from people around. But as Doctor was speaking about this, it's really inspired me a lot. I felt like I really need to continue about this. On the other side as well, I got a theological academy that I've started, which is we actually grooming up African young people and pastors and all kind of things. So when you were speaking about faith, it's also inspired me a lot about that because people were saying to me, "What are you doing about that?" So this is really something that we don't really give value that much. And somebody like you being a doctor, a psychologist, and find yourself doing some kind of thing like this. So it's somehow discouraging me, but through what you're saying there, it really gives me kind of encouragement. I want to thank you for that, and I would like really to, if you can give me some more, encouragement more, I'll be more happy about it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Owen. You have to apply for the award. Put your project out there. It is an
Yes.
innovation, and I think I don't want to interrupt, but I know we know ourselves, and I know the great work that you're putting out there, brother. I mean, it's not easy for you to relocate and try to build a continent. Of course, the first thing is you're gonna break down and just want to give up, but we want to encourage you and like put in for that award. And yeah, over to you, Dr. Clyde.
What you do is this. Make sure you spend time with God every morning. Spend time with God, and He'll put a peace in your heart and show you the next step. And just take it one day, one step at a time, and you will win.
Dr. Owen, did you hear that? All right, I'll give it back to you because the lines are just, yeah. Hey, I mean, he's also one of those innovators that left. I think he was in the United States for long and relocated back home and want to put knowledge and inspire young people. But yeah, like we hear, we know a
Wow.
lot. We know thousands out there, and these are the thousands that are watching us now. If you have been so a blessing on this project to just turn back the hand of time of people who were saying, I already just thought I had to pack my bag and leave, but now just listening to for the first time, I feel I want to stay. I should go ahead. Now, over to you, Dr. Ravers.
What I'm saying is this: we are starting these awards from Africa. This is Pan-African TV. We are number one. This whole awards thing is number one from Africa to Africa.
Yes.
We will use my experience with I Change Nations around the world to make it big. but this is from Africa to Africa.
Correct.
Africa honoring Africa in a way it needs to be honored. And then, and every time we do the honor, I'm going to put a huge article that goes around the world that Pan African TV is honoring Africa. So hear this. We have to create our own number one ship.
Yes.
We're not looking for anyone else to give us permission to be number one. We're taking number one because God made us number ones. So we're not
Yes.
accepting number two anymore. No, we don't need a kiss from anyone else. We'll do it our own self.
Mm-hmm.
Are you
Wow.
getting me, Susan?
Oh, I feel you. Come on. Just how this is just all I've been dreaming all my life in my engagements for this continent to just get this kind of person that say, no, we are number one. We created number one. I've shouted in all sort of forms for us to understand that we cannot be the head and be the tail. And
Go ahead, Susan.
I can say more than how this day is changing. This day and the Pan African Daily TV is always. I really want to thank Ambassador Jaja, who has also been, the pioneer of engagement for young people. I want to thank Professor Pierre Lumumba, who's also been the voice in saying that, hey, we need to do this Pan African Daily TV. You're changing the new conversations on the continent for young people. We need to push this further. I don't want, how much can I thank all that have been happening? The more than 200 guests that we've been having here in just a short time.
Wow.
And I still have a long list of them. Now putting the slot, who takes what? And the number one leader, Dr. Rivers, I don't know the kind of award again that will give you number 0 or number what, I don't know. But we want to thank you so much because actually I've just done something that I never did, like ask some things openly for the people. And but when I meet an opportunity like this, I feel you. I feel the spirit that you have is so powerful, and this has to go back to chase the negativity, the demons on the continent that has actually plagued our people, handicapped their mindset, put them into a kind of a sleeping modus of negativity. This wing that you've brought here, may the God of your ancestors and the God of creation continue to water you more and more. And you're going to be that Dr. Rivers that shall never run dry. Never.
Amen. Amen. Thank you so much. And what I'll do, we'll talk and we'll schedule my times on, because I will make this as a priority to be on Pan African TV. This is a priority.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rivers. One more word before we depart from you to the audience.
Yeah. What it is this evening, we're ask God to give you an idea. When He gives you the idea, write it down and start to move towards that idea. Your faith, you will be amazed. Ask God, what have you called me to do? What have you called me to do? Give me the idea. And God, I will hold on, but I will walk towards the idea every day. Ask Him that and start to walk, and you will see God begin to connect the dots, just like you did on this show today.
Thank you very much. I mean, may God be our strength and your strength as well. So thank you for coming. We're going to connect, and then we put the program when you'll be on, what days and what times. And you, dear listeners, you know it already. And we will keep you in touch and informed of what particular programs we'll be getting here. That is a permanent content for you and your mentors that will be following up with you. So thank you so much, Dr. River, and God bless you. Stay safe to you and your family.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, and to you, my precious golden followers and fans and Africans, dear Pan-Africanists and brothers and sisters and lovers and precious ones of Africa, I want to thank you for your continuous support, for tuning in. Hey, please come and bring one on. Nobody, we've heard it, is going to change Africa but us African people. We have seen it a couple of times. We have seen it a million times. We have trusted everything. It is time now for us to understand that we are on our own. And when you're left on your own, you don't have a choice. You have to make it work. I look forward that we're going to make it work on the Pan-African Daily TV. I look forward that you are going to make it work starting in your own atmosphere. I look forward that you're going to be that kind of a young woman like Tracy, like Chad, like Helen, and all the others that I know out there that is going to jump up today and pray for a solution, and an innovative solution. Now, one thing I want to let you know about this award, like I said before, it's fair. Even God awards people. They bless us. What are blessings? What are blessings? We're always saying blessings, blessings, blessings. Now, let's put blessings in a real pragmatic content. Blessings are a word. They just are words. And so if you say, oh God, I want you to bless me, and we pray to the God of creation, and you say, oh, I'm blessed today. So you're rewarded, you're awarded. Now in the physical, in the past times, just like you're saying, Africans have always been known like, and our word has to always come from somebody, even from our leaders. You know, despite whatever challenges, there's always something good in one person. I want to thank you so much. Tomorrow we're going to be having what did I say last time? We're gonna have guests from the PLO Lumumba Foundation who are going to be mentoring us on the success and the progress of the June 27 conference, which you all know that is coming on. I know the team out there, and even those in the UK, like Tracy in the UK, they've been putting too much hard work day and night, and a lot of registrations are going out there. Be aware of the fact that we in the diaspora and the team of the diaspora would be organizing also this sort of event really tailor-made for diaspora. Why? Because our needs are not the same. And so the message is not the same. So there's going to be a lot of events coming up. This leaders trainings, I already told you, seminars and workshops, practical solutions from Africans to Africans. Be aware of that and make sure you don't miss an opportunity to get an education that would empower your life forever and your generation of Africans. Now, we're not saying that we're not particularly concerned about our individual lives. We're also concerned about a recent topic that we would like to address here on the Pan-African Daily TV, and we're going to get mentors coming in. It is about mental health. Mental health is going to determine how people's life would go on after the post-pandemic. I told you yesterday about the suicide we start hearing about Africans. It's not usual that these things happen to us. But we also are aware of the fact that in as much as, like we say, the pandemic brought chaotic situation, tragedy, and a loss of lives, but we should also be aware of the fact that after the pandemic, we had damages in our brains. You know, just the fact of being shut down was already a situation that we were not taking care of. We saw it, we had to do it, we had to stay at home, but it has cost something with time, you will see it. And then secondly, another second pandemic that came is this racist act of George Floyd and many, many others that were uncovered. Even during this time, it's still going on daily. It hasn't even stopped. And we have had to send these issues and incidents. How many times have we sent this video? That video provoked people like Ken Breed to a pandemic in the whole world. You know why? Because it's a psychic issue. Any one of you that watched that video would agree that it has caused a brain damage somehow. But it's just that we're not yet still aware. We're not aware of it. And so a mental illness is one of the pandemic or the diseases that will see a lot of people die, they can not only they will not physically just die, but most of people would be damaged in their brains. Homes are getting broken. We see it. We see the consequences of a lot of homes have been broken up. People don't get together again, children. And so the pandemic has brought something that we should start thinking on. And because we want to see ahead, because God is showing us, like our brother and Dr. Rivers said, we look ahead of time. We've already identified from the cases that we're seeing now that even the people in the West, they're already psychologically preparing their people. In Germany, you have a lot of seminars going on, online seminars, only to prepare the people on what is going to happen. And us from the Pan-African Daily TV, we talked about social distancing, and we had a campaign on it. And now we are on the daily conversations. And now we're going to focus again on how to get solutions when you are affected. Because we know that a lot of families, a lot of people are going to get into that phase, and most of them would not even have the courage to share. Most of them will not have the courage to tell a friend that he's suffering from this. Most families will just want to deal it within them, a husband and wife, and it's going to even translate to the children without us knowing it. So be aware. We're going to be getting experts that are going to give us symptoms to orientate us. When you see this kind of attitude, when you feel like this, how should you react? What is the next step? And we have a particular content provider, just like Dr. Rivers, that we're going to have. It's a young artist, and he's been a painter. He is of African descent, but a Brazilian. We've had to work with him, and he had been painting Mother Africa around the whole world in villages on the continent. Every street you could see his paintings, and it's always been about Mother Africa. So this young kid has been so famous through his artwork. He's called Alexander Kito. Now, Alexander Kito has been through that process. Now he is going into the next phase that has to do with exactly what I'm saying, mental health. And now he has identified that he's been given that vision. Something is going to happen to our people very badly. It's going to be the post-COVID pandemic, but it's going to be a mental disease that will kill us a lot. But people are going to say it's a coronavirus. And this young brother had the vision. And now what he is doing is connecting a lot of psychologists worldwide to create a platform to assist in case, not in case, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. So Alexander is going to be with us on this show next week. You watch out on that. And I told you again on Saturday, we're going to have a brother who's going to mentor us about what is going on in Southern Cameroon, Amazonia, for us to understand. And these are all also getting into the kind of psychological effects and all the other people on the continent that are dealing with this kind of conflict zones. Sunday, I told you we're starting a new series of the African Church. And a lot of people already wrote me behind to say, oh, Susan, we find this a good idea, but the issue of religion, we need to be careful and stuff like that. Brothers, sisters, dear Africans, this is not time. We have to. You heard Dr. Rivers say it. You are the number one. You can never be the last. You can never be in the second position. We have to address our issues the way they are. It is only about building the faith in us African people through our God-given nature of who we are. And we're going to be having different pastors and theologians and believers, and also people who think out of the box come on every Sunday to do this series with us. I look forward to having all of you from our desk and my team out there on the continent, in the diaspora. I want to thank you so very much, and the followers that have been joining in. And I also have a recommendation. People are saying, oh, Susan, especially those in the diaspora, can you shift the time one head? People on the continent are saying, oh, 1 hour ahead is going to be late because the kids, they have to go to school. Those in Europe. I don't know your opinion about it. Please drop me a message on WhatsApp. How should we change the times to suit this audience that we're having? thank you very much for being with us on this show today. Thank you for watching, and we see ourselves tomorrow on another day. God bless you. Stay safe.